Okay, I started recording.
Okay. Hi, Heather.
Hi. So,
Hermina. I immediately did it.
who cares?
Shame on.
So anyway, today we're gonna talk to Emily, and she was a mathematician, a physicist. She was also a philosopher and an author back in the 18th century, which back then was, for women to be all that in one is just extremely rare. And
No kidding.
she was pretty
So if you didn't
boss.
have this conflict of interest, you'd be like a huge admirer.
Yeah. So the one thing about Emily that I don't like is that she was Voltaire's lover when they were both alive. Whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever. It's like it's a little jealousy. It's just a little bit, but I know it's like not real. It's my ego, so it's kind of funny. It's a weird thing.
I enjoy your jealousy. I get such a kick
Yeah,
out of
it's
it.
out of
It's so
fun. It's
fun.
not. Yeah, it's not serious. It's fun. I feel like
Right.
this is a giant game, and I'm meant to feel this way so I can make it more interesting and fun. Um. Anyway, but she's super sweet to me, and it makes me hate her more. And
That's even worse.
I just like, ugh. Anyway, no, but I like her, but I hate her.
Well,
It's weird. Like as a
well,
woman.
let's get.
Sorry, I love her as a woman because of, everything that she did and has done. But the
Yeah.
one thing I don't like is just, it's that one thing that I should have, sorry.
Well, let's thicken the plot a little bit
Okay.
because I have my own connection to Emily.
Oh yeah, you killed her.
I was
Right.
her lover.
Yes.
When
You're
what was my name again?
Jean-Francois de Lambert or something like that. You're a poet. You're a French poet. And towards the end of her life, she had an affair with you. And she ended up getting pregnant. She cheated on Voltaire with you, by the way. I would never have cheated on Voltaire. Just saying.
But
Anyway,
it was me.
whatever. I don't care. It's Voltaire. It's okay. He cheated on her a few times too. But anyway,
Crazy story.
but Emily ended up pregnant with this baby, and your baby, and she
Right.
died shortly after childbirth. I think a day or two after, and then the baby died soon after as well.
My baby.
Mhm.
So weird. This is such a crazy twist. So what's she doing? Is she there? Well, I know she's there. You keep peeking at her. Is she wearing some frillies or anything?
She says, "No, I'm not like Voltaire." Voltaire's
Hi,
here
Emily.
too. And she's wearing.
Hi, Voldy.
He says hello. He's standing off to the side. She did a little twirl for us.
Okay.
What color? Oh, it's purple. And she says my favorite color. She said, I'm wearing purple for you. And then there's like a little train in the back. Yeah, it looks nice. You look nice. You got big boobs. That's great. Anyway,
I love
I'm sorry. Am I being too mean? Because then I feel bad, but then at the same time I don't. It's weird.
I think she can handle you.
She can.
I don't think she's intimidated by you at all.
Yes, so she's very excited to try trance channeling. So we tried it once when I was taking my bath earlier, and she was like, she said how much she missed baths.
Oh.
And then we did it again before I meditated, right before I called you, and she did well. She was looking at my outfit. She thinks it's weird, like wearing pants and stuff. Okay, so I'm wearing my Channeling Eric medium shirt. By the way, I don't know if you can see it.
Showcasing the rack. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Not as big of a rack as hers, though. Just going to say that. Anyway, I'm going to go under for a little bit for her. Maybe answer,
Okay.
I don't know,
Okay.
5 questions or so. and then jump out, and then I'll answer the rest through verbal because I want to be awake and channel Voltaire. Okay.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I know you, don't I?
A little bit.
This is weird.
No, this is weird.
I bet. Have you been trans-channeled before? Is this your first time back in some... Wow. How are you doing?
Okay. I need a minute.
Sure, you go, girl.
I don't like what she's wearing. It's...
Is it like a corset?
No, it's a weird... I don't know what it is she's wearing.
Is it the bra? Her bra? Her pants?
I don't want to look at her shirt.
Open her pants. Unbutton them.
No, it's not the pants. It's this, the bra she's wearing is a little tight for me. I'll just kind of shift it a little bit. That's better.
That's so funny because, we watched those girls cinched tight. We thought you guys had it bad. Now you know what the bras feel like.
They're not that bad. Corsets are much worse.
Yeah, I bet. Ugh, what a bother. So, are you ready for a little bit of questions, or are you still settling in?
I can start answering.
Okay, because I want to start with mine. And Heather said that you missed a bath. I was taking a bath last week, and I feel like I felt you love on me. Did you?
A little bit.
Well, thanks, because I'm learning how to know things, and I knew it was you, so thank you for validating me and giving me some practice. You getting your voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
For you, the connection cut off, so I couldn't hear you very well.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was just thanking you for giving me practice on my Claire knowing, whatever that one is. Okay. So I'm just so fascinated by the whole soul and the connections of other whens and stuff. I love this, and I've been looking so forward to this once the ideas started, falling into our brains and stuff. Do you have like a little teeny tiny tidbit of anything of a connection, or why are we feeling such love from you? Are we closer on the other side than we think we are?
I just like to send love to people. I think it's especially because it involves Voltaire, my Voltaire.
Yeah.
And sending love to others within that same circle is something that I do best. I work with energy a lot, and even in my life, even though I focus more on the physical level of energy and how it works, I work with energy now on the other side, and I love to send energy to others.
Oh, okay. And when you send energy, can I just assume that you mean healing energies, or is there other kinds of energies?
Yes, other kinds. It doesn't have to be healing. It could just be sending a type of emotion towards you, because emotions are energy. Everything is, even your thoughts.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Emily, I'm going to get started on these questions. And I read about you today. Boy, you are a busy girl. Very progressive.
Very busy bee.
Okay, here comes the first question. How did you regard men in the scientific field? How did they treat you? And was it as difficult as this person imagines it was?
What I'm enjoying about these questions so far, I already know some of them. I was reading over them.
Ha!
Is
Good
that
girl.
people are asking me about my career, not how did I dress or who did I think was the cutest. That's something I've noticed about females who are celebrities, or it doesn't matter
Uh-huh.
what field they work in, whether they're a writer or a scientist or an actress. People tend to focus on their looks and how they're dressed rather than their actual accomplishments and their intelligence. And I don't like that. So I'm enjoying this already.
Most of them are like that too. The questions, smart
Yes.
questions. I like them too.
Okay. It was difficult because it didn't matter how much work I put into whatever it was, what kind of project, they would still see me as a woman. No matter what I did, they would still say, she's good for a woman. For a woman,
Ugh.
she's smart. And I didn't want to be defined by my gender, and it made me very infuriated at just the sheer stupidity of men thinking that they're the best and they're not. A lot of the times they're very weak, in my opinion.
I love you. And I love because I know that you're coming through as Emily. Your
Yes,
Emily personality. These are
I
not
decided, yes, I decided to do that. I could come through as my a spiritual self.
no. We want Emily.
Yes, so I decided to do that instead. So I'm giving you my ego that I had in my
All
life.
right, good. That's what we want to hear. Okay, here comes the next question. Um, I'm just going to read verbatim. I'm sure she is aware of all the women now stepping up to the plate about sexual harassment. What does she think about that? Does she think we have evolved at all since her time, or is it the same old, same old?
Meaning, as have men evolved? No, because they're still treating women as
Yes, you can
objects.
go there. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. Say it
So
again.
they're still treating women as objects, so they have not evolved in any sort of way. They're still the same way. It's just the rules have changed. So they have to change the way they're going to treat women as objects. Not all men, but some,
Right.
most men still think of themselves as superior over a woman. Or not even that, but some women think that there's some things that they're better at because they're a woman, and that's not true. We're all equal. No gender is better
Ah,
than the other.
very good.
And I think the sexual harassment thing, you speak up for yourself. I'm glad. A lot of the women in my time would have kept their mouths shut, which was bad. And I kept my
Yeah.
mouth shut as well. I've had things happen to me that I never spoke about because it would have caused more damage to me as a person. Because I'm a woman, I would be seen as the perpetrator rather than the victim. But now women are being seen as, victims. And it's a good thing.
Yeah, and not that you're,
Not that
because
victimhood's
when you
good,
call,
but sorry.
well, I had to go through this thing where you have to kind of process and admit that you're in that place so that you can pull yourself out. So I was a victim, but I'm not going to stay a victim anymore. If you don't
Yeah.
recognize that you're being victimized to an extent, you can't get out of it. So maybe we're, at that point. Okay, here comes another question. Oh, were you concerned with birth control, and what did you do about it? What did you girls do?
Every woman is concerned for birth control if they're having sex with a man that is not their husband. A lot of the
Right.
time, we would choose men that would look similar to our husbands, so as if we were to get pregnant, we could still pull it off as that's their son. And that was a little sly trick.
Genius! Thanks for the idea. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But we would use natural tools, things that you pick up from the garden. Some believe that you can make a type of soup or a broth that you can drink beforehand. I personally would I would grow it out in the garden. It involves lavender as well for smell. But I would, how do I say this? Put it up inside me, and it would serve as a form
Right.
of, it would kill off the sperm upon contact. Not always, but It wasn't 100% effective, but it was so that I still wouldn't allow men to relieve themselves inside me. They would still have to pull out regardless. But it helped ease that. And also, in our time, women, we were much more in tune to our bodies than you are now. A lot of women now rely so much on your pills and the doctor's medication to tell you when you're ovulating or not, that you don't learn to listen to your bodies. I knew when to avoid having sex. I could listen to myself.
That's a good point. I don't think, well, I never really considered that, I rely on my pill cycle instead of my body. That is so interesting. We got away from that.
Yes. And the reason why I got pregnant when I was in my 40s is because I was going through menopause and my cycle got messed up and I couldn't figure it out. And it was an accident.
Right.
It was the beginning stages of menopause.
About it back then?
I'm sorry?
What I think.
You weren't very much involved at all. You didn't want to really anything to do with it so much. You didn't have the reaction I had hoped you would have. I was very attached to you, and you just, when I told you I was pregnant, you didn't have a sense of urgency to be by my side or to really be there at all. It's not that you didn't want to be in the child's life, it's just that it wasn't important to you.
Okay, so not a priority.
No.
But who did stay by your side?
Voltaire, even though it was not his.
Oh, sweet man. Oh. Okay. What do you feel was your greatest accomplishment during your lifetime?
I feel as though my greatest accomplishment, aside from my publications, would have been the fact that I was highly educated. I was able to sneak my way in through, and my father had allowed for me to become educated at the same level that men were. That, to me, was my greatest accomplishment, because if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have done my publications in the first place.
Right. I read that there was controversy, or two stories about whether or not your mom was supportive. Was she, or was she kind of like, go be a girl? You know what I mean?
No, she was supportive. She wanted me to be able to learn to balance better.
Okay.
I would get too caught up, and she was worried that I wouldn't find anybody that would want to make me their wife because they would find me too intimidating. And so she wanted me to be both. Not that she didn't want me to give up being educated.
Right. That makes sense, because you want your girl to have a traditional life with a husband and children, and
mostly marriage
so
at that time was seen as a way to push yourself up higher in social status, and also to take care of yourself. So say you came from a rather poor family, but a nobleman was interested in your daughter. Of course you would want your daughter to marry the nobleman, because then your daughter would be cared for.
Right.
Back then we didn't have grocery stores or supermarkets or malls to shop at. Everything had to be done by hand. It was much more difficult, especially if you were poor. So you would marry higher up, so they have a better chance at life.
I was thinking of that just today, just appreciating the grocery store, that.
It's so much easier to marry for love now. I didn't get to marry for that.
Yeah, but you know what? Because of that, relationships got so tangly, huh? You had your
I had
lover come and live with you and your husband. It was common, or common.
Yes, it was very common. My husband knew about it and didn't care because he had his own affairs on the side. We just were with each other for, it was a business. We're business partners.
Yeah.
We're cordial towards each other. I very much cared for the man. But was I passionate about him? No. But I loved him,
Mm-hmm.
but in a different way.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm kind of on that same path, and that my husband and I are becoming, we're already, partners in parenting, but to come together as friends too. We're less
Yes.
traditional,
So
and
it
it's
wasn't,
working. We're gonna
yes.
get there.
And when you have sex with your friend, it just feels as though it doesn't feel, some people feel bad for the woman when they have to marry a man they don't love. But really, it was so common then that it wasn't seen as much of a sacrifice as you would see it now.
I know we need to learn how to see different points of view, because this was a few hundred years ago, and it seems so progressive. But it was a few hundred years ago, so just the things ebb and flow, our attitudes and understandings of the way things go. Okay. Here's a question. Are you and Voltaire in the same soul family, and are you romantic soulmates? Let's ask that before Heather comes back.
She's here and she's watching me. He and I, we are soulmates, but not really romantic all the time. Not as much as you might think.
Okay.
How else would I say this? Are we in the same soul family?
Yeah. Yeah, good question. Are you part of Moshu?
No. More of extended family. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by your soul family, though.
Well,
I'm assuming it means souls you're very close to and you tend to incarnate with a lot. Am I correct?
right.
Yes. Then in
Well,
that
I
sense,
think
no.
that's a relative term too.
Yes.
Okay.
No, we are not like that. It's very rare that he and I have been in the same lifetime. It just, our souls worked best with each other and in this kind of relationship. Because for me, I need to have passion and love in order for me to feel interested. And if it weren't for that, then I don't think things would have gone the course that they did between both of us. We both pushed each other quite a lot in our careers.
Yeah, you guys have an interesting story in the way you changed your soul contract, because he was just too in love. He wouldn't move on and take
No,
care of
not in
business.
love. Not in love. He started to fall out of love with me towards the end, but he just
Oh.
felt that he wasn't allowed to detach himself from me.
Huh. He felt like a sense of loyalty. I mean,
Yes, a sense of
huh.
loyalty that he had to stay with me.
Oh. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to ask you another. Well, you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity to say whatever you want to say right now while you're trance channeling, and then I'm gonna bring Heather back because she wants to be in the room.
Right. Well, first, I'm very excited about this. I haven't been in a body in a long time. I don't know how I feel about this body in particular. Not that it's bad, it's just not mine. So I'm not used to it. I really want to talk to women some more. I'm so much more than just Voltaire's lover. I know that's what I'm known most for, and it's pretty disappointing because I've done a lot with my life. And I want women to know that you're not inferior. You can be stronger. And whenever you feel as though a man is, or an interviewer for that matter, is making you squaring you into a box, that you're just a woman and you can only answer these certain types of questions that women answer, be assertive and say, I'd rather talk about this. Let's focus on what we're here for, not my clothing, not how my hair looks. Let's focus on my accomplishments. Don't be afraid to be assertive, because if a man calls you a bitch, that's a compliment, because that means you're being tough and strong and independent. I think that's my message I want to give.
Okay, thanks. We are kind of in a place of girl power. So I
It's
appreciate your
tipping.
message because I'm
It's
claiming mine.
yes,
So
it's
thanks.
tipping. It's
Go ahead.
tipping the balance. Also, I want to talk about women who are also in relationships much like yours, whether you're married or single or going through a divorce. Know that your worth isn't defined by whose arm you're hooked into. Do you understand that saying? Whoever
Yes,
man is by your side.
absolutely.
You're your own individual, and you don't need to be married. You don't need to have children. I would have had neither had I been given the choice. And I don't want women who
Interesting.
think that they're single, think that they're worthless, or that they have to find a man. Have a man because you want one, not because you need one, not
Right.
because you feel lost or unwanted. No. You are already well loved and wanted. You're sexy. You're a goddess. And just get a man because you want one. For some time, I felt like women should feel as though the men are the objects for a little bit, just so men would know what it feels like to be on the other side of the coin. I would love to see
Let's check
that.
out that parallel universe.
I would love to see that happen. Not as though that it should stay that way, but I want men to get their own taste of their own medicine because they don't understand. They can be sympathetic towards women and they can be treat them as their equal, but they will never ever understand. And there's a lot of people, even women, who do not understand why feminism is needed. And the fact that you don't understand why it's needed further proves that we need to have it because it benefits both genders.
Yes, because there's so much out there, when you're talking about this stuff, and things are brought to light that I don't even realize that I might be like a second class thing here or there. But here's just a small example of what I do notice. I travel a lot. When I'm on an airplane and I'm in the middle seat, and if I have a man on the outside, they automatically assume that they're getting both armrests. And this is just such a little thing. But every time, the men just feel entitled to the whole space, and the women are squished up in the middle. That's my little thing I noticed about men, and everybody seems to accept that that's the way
And
it is. And I
also,
think that there's so many little things like,
yes, and it's the little things and they add up to bigger things. And you may not think that's a big deal because they're little things. No, no, the small things are where it matters the most. And women don't feel safe. Men don't know what it feels like to just go outside and feel completely unsafe just because you don't have someone you trust with you. You see a man walking across the street. You don't know this man, but you fear for your life for a split
right?
second. They don't know what that feels like. And that's something I feel that they should feel.
That's true.
I want them to be able to feel this. And
Yeah.
this may sound mean, but to really balance it out, we have to go to the other side of the spectrum. You have to swing both ways. So we're on this side right now, where the men are in power and the women are feeling inferior and are pounced on. I want to swing it to the other side. And I want the men to take over the other role of feeling as though they're inferior. And then soon we'll meet up in the middle and we'll find our middle ground. But for right now, they need to understand what it feels like so that changes can happen.
That sounded just like the whole reason we incarnate here is to experience something so we can know exactly what it's like and have that perspective.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes,
Yep.
that's polarity that comes with being
But we need to
human.
not, have a man come as a woman. We need a man to come as a man and feel what it's like to have that. Ugh, that's good.
Yes.
Okay, Emily, you're not leaving. You're just leaving Heather, okay?
Yes.
We got more questions for you. Okay. See you in a minute on the outside.
Okay. I'm kind of sweaty. I'm sweaty.
She hates your bra.
Fuck it. I don't care.
She says it's not as bad as a corset, though. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Heather, but you're going to love her. She's awesome. Okay. We're going to continue with some questions, okay?
All right.
Okay. Okay, well, she kind of talked about this a little bit. Do you have anything else to say about your relationship with your husband? Was it a happy marriage? Just, despite the unconventionality of it.
She says yes, it was a happy marriage. And
Okay.
that's all she has to say. She keeps her hands like this.
Okay.
Like, I think it's cool. She keeps her hands like this, but like located on her lower tummy, so she just always holds them like that.
What do you think of feminism now? I have a feeling she thinks there's not enough of it.
She says she thinks that it has gone astray. That some women think it's about them being superior over men, and that's not what it's about. It's about being equal, everybody being equal. It's about equality for all gender types. She's saying there's more than one gender.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you said that. She said so it's equality for everybody, not just some. She said that it seems that feminism is focused on women because they're seen as the minority. They're inferior. And she's saying that that's the only reason why it seems that it's about the empowerment of women, because women are so disempowered in today's society. It doesn't matter which culture you go to, other than there's very select few cultures that empower women.
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit when you were gone. We'll get there. I hope so. Okay, the next question on the list is, what was your transition like?
She said very easy. I don't know what she means by that. At first she was in a lot of pain leading up to her death. She said she just felt sick and had a really bad fever due to complications.
What did kill you?
It was an infection.
Was there something specific?
It was an infection.
Okay.
Of some type.
Okay.
But they just didn't have the technology or the know-how then to detect it, to know how to solve the problem. And she said it sneaks up on you too. She said usually now you are able to, the doctor would be able to see it and take care of the issue. She said that she felt she would die from the pregnancy as well. Throughout her entire pregnancy, she knew it was going to happen. And
wow.
She said so she feared for her life for 9 months. And finally, when it came time for the birth, she accepted it. She accepted her death and said, I'm going to die after this, and that's fine. And when she transitioned, it was like she says, pop! I popped right out of my body. And I looked down on it, and the first thing I said was, that's not me. That's not who I am. Whoever this person is. And I looked at my baby, and I knew my baby was going to die. So I stayed. She said my baby wasn't meant to live either way. It doesn't matter. She said that there was no soul attached to the baby. Not throughout while it was there at all.
What's that like then? What's a baby with no soul?
She said it's
Just
still
a piece
alive.
Of wiggly flesh?
It still needs water. It needs nutrients. Yeah, it's a body, but there's no personality.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's trippy.
And she said that the first thing that she went to was Voltaire. She didn't go to. She pointed at you. She said, "I didn't go to you. I went to him and realized how heartbroken he would be." And she said, my soul cried out for his. And I just held on to him, even though he couldn't see me or sense me. He didn't even hear the news yet that I had died, and I was just in the other room. And she said that she was there for everybody who came to see her body. And then she didn't fully transition until the baby had died. And she took the baby with her. I don't know what she means by that. But whatever it was, she took the baby's, not that she took its life, like she killed it, but she took the life energy of it with
Right.
her.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Interesting.
and she said that it's sort of, she said it's crazy because it was like, it was my life source energy inside the baby. Like a piece of me went into the baby when it was born. And she said, and that's what you could
Okay.
say the soul was my soul, and I split myself. Um,
Okay.
so she took the life source energy from the baby and left once after its vessel had died. Um, she's saying the baby died from complications. They didn't really know what it was, but she says that she knew. The baby didn't get the nutrients it needed from the mother. And they didn't have, they had wet nurses, but they didn't
Right,
have,
prenatals.
right. So the baby died from complications from just accumulation of things. And when she transitioned, she met with some of the, she said Isaac Newton was there, and the other top scientists were there as well that helped greet her and
Oh,
congratulate
interesting.
her. And she said, and then her family too. It took her some time to accumulate, like, herself to the afterlife because
Hmm.
um, she was very attached to what she said to Voltaire, but to just my life itself. My life as Emily, I was very attached to that life, and it was hard for me
Okay.
to let it go. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's it. That's all she's talking about.
How was your life review? Did you enjoy it because you had so many accomplishments? Did you have a life review?
She said, yeah, she had a life review, and she said it wasn't like she was excited about it. She said she wasn't excited about it. She just, when you get your life review, there's no judgment on it. There's no emotion attached to
Hmm.
the things you're seeing. It's just observation saying, oh, yes, I did this, so when this happened, then that's it.
Interesting. Okay. Mm.
And so she said after her life review, she kind of stalled her life review. She didn't want to go through it because she wanted to latch on so much to her life. And after her life review, it was like when
Okay.
she officially let go of all of that.
Hmm. Okay. Do you still spend time with Voltaire on the flip side?
She says sometimes, not all the time, especially not recently, because, haha, because of me. Because of me. um, so she keeps her distance for me, and that it's not a sacrifice. It's not something that's seen as bad or she misses him. Um, and she said because our soul cells were not that close. We're just
Huh,
close for
okay.
that lifetime.
That's interesting to me too, because they were so close to each other. And on the flip side, it's just like he's my buddy. I see him sometimes,
Yeah.
whatever. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Um, are you currently incarnated elsewhere, either here or somewhere else in this, like our human timeline?
She says she's not on Earth, if that's what you're asking. Um, she's she said currently no, I'm nowhere. I don't want to be anywhere right now. She said I've done
Okay.
enough work.
Um, I'm going to read verbatim again.
Mm-hmm.
I always love learning about their typical everyday routines. What was her favorite meal? Did she have close friendships with her staff? What did she like most about living in that time period? Details like that.
That's something I would do. She's saying I would love to flirt with my staff. So she's saying that but she would like to take baths, and then you usually have women do the bath, but she's saying sometimes I'll invite in the servant boy and just tease him. while I'm in the bath and just be like, can you sprinkle in some more of this or whatever? Um, but yeah, you can't touch. You can't touch and you can't look like you want the body either because the different social classes are so dramatic. It was like they weren't even
Right.
people. Servants weren't really seen as the same kind of people. And so she said that she saw
Uh-huh.
them as people, but she liked to flirt with them knowing that they couldn't do anything about it. She says she's a giant
It's
tease.
safer. It's fun to flirt when there's no consequence. Just do it.
Yeah, she
It's
would
fun.
walk around naked sometimes, as like she doesn't care. Like she says, I like to air dry, and she'd just walk down the hallways, and all the guards and servant men would just like stop, and she would just like look behind her as they're staring at her, all smiling.
Emily,
She's a bad girl.
my goodness.
No,
I didn't expect that out of her. You go.
no
Uh-oh.
flirting in front of me. So,
Ooh.
I'm getting in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble.
Get in trouble from both of us.
hmm
Um, why is mathematics so important in this current day and age? Why does it seem it rules the universe? We heard differently recently
Oh,
that
yeah.
math is not as universal as thought.
She said, I used to think math was universal when I was alive. She said, recently, though, since I can tap into an infinite amount of energy, I've learned it is not. It's only universal for that planet that it's on and the dimension it's in. She said, it's not universal in the fact that it probably won't make sense to other species that come in. They won't understand your numbers
Uh-huh.
or your use of logic because their logic may be different. She said, so I enjoy studying different planets. She said this is a lot of what she does now. On the other side, she works with other mathematicians, especially on Earth too, to understand and get out of that line of thinking that human math is universal. And she says it's not, and it's holding
Uh-huh.
us back a lot from understanding how the
Wow.
universe really works. She's saying not everything in
Well, that
science
is
is
interesting.
wrong. She's saying it's not wrong, it's just that you are so packed into a box that you're not allowing yourself to see other options, so you're keeping yourself from advancing.
Yeah, well, if we can't admit that there's life elsewhere, then there's no reason to admit that there's math elsewhere. This is
Right.
the only math that matters.
Yes. And
That's
she said,
interesting.
in a way, it. She said, in a way, that's true if you're going to stay on this planet. But if you're wanting to
Right.
leave, then perhaps you need to think in another way. She's very easy
Yeah.
to channel. She's super easy. She's all like, "Oh my god, thank you!" Like I just gave her like the greatest compliment ever.
She's calling me easy. I don't know if you should take that as a compliment. Just kidding. Okay, next question. We've got just a few more.
We can get to the nitty gritty stuff
Okay, I'm going to
afterwards.
skip this one because she already answered this one. She wanted to know, what message she has for women today and advice for married single, and she really addressed that. That was her last thing before she came back was,
Yeah, I
own your
remember.
power and don't feel like you have a trophy on. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean, be a trophy. Um,
She says she wants to add something.
what can people? Oh, okay, go.
She's saying, typical housewife. She's saying this is my ego talking. She said, by the way. She said, typical
Okay.
housewife thing. Nah, like that. She said, she said, if you want to be a housewife and just take care of the kids, that's great, but don't feel that that's your duty as a woman. You don't have to be somebody who has to take care of the kids. You don't have to be the only person doing the laundry or doing the dishes or the cooking. She said, we will get to the point where both genders are doing an equal amount of work at the house and equal amount of child raising. She said a lot of the time women will get nannies and they'll feel guilty about it, and there's some that'll get nannies and won't even think twice about it. And that's fine. Either one's fine. She said don't feel guilty for however you choose to live your life with your husband. Um, she's saying that you're not defined as a wife. Your wife and your motherhood doesn't define who you are. She thinks so. Don't lose yourself in those roles. She's saying it's not saying it's a bad thing to call yourself a mother or anything. She's saying that there's a lot of women who lose who they are as an individual because they're so caught up in trying to be the perfect mother or the perfect wife or whatever society sees as perfection in those roles. She says to not lose yourself in that. She said you're perfect just the way you are. You're going to be a perfect mother because you became a mother and you're raising the child. And however you raise that child is perfect.
Oh, yes, I can kind of identify with what she's saying because for a long time I did identify myself through my kids. I didn't have my own me.
Right.
It was my kids this, my kids. It was all about them, and that's how I validated myself. Not anymore. I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
But my kids are awesome too.
She says learn to have a life outside your children and don't feel guilty about it. Because pretty soon your children are going to grow up and move out. And they're not even going to, she said, see you next Tuesday or something like that. I don't know that saying. But,
see you next Tuesday.
But
you know what that is, right?
No. What is that?
I'll tell you later.
But
I'll tell you now. CUNT. See you next Tuesday is a whatever you call it, an acronym for cunt.
Oh.
She's that's funny. I didn't match, but it was still funny.
Oh yeah, but she's
Emily.
She said people used to call her a cunt. She thinks it's funny now. But she's
Great
saying
word.
that you'll feel lost when that happens. She said, don't have to rebuild yourself after the children leave. Start building yourself now. You know, don't feel as though you have to put yourself on hold when you have children. And she's talking to me. What?
Is she really? Because I feel like she's talking to me. Because
well, she
I will
pointed
be
at
the role model for you.
Well, at the end of it, she pointed at me. She said, like you, little Miss Heather, because I don't want to have kids because I view motherhood as whatever.
Ah, okay. That makes sense too.
Because that's
but
why
see,
I'm not
she's
having
right
kids.
because, you know,
That's why
if I didn't have this, you know, this awakening, then I'd still be facing doing laundry when my kids were grown. I didn't have a plan.
Right.
Now I do. And I get a little bit of tiny guilt, like for leaving my kids on the tour and stuff. But, you know, all the spirits assure me that you are teaching your kids to follow their dreams. You're teaching them to be independent and take care of themselves. So there's so many silver linings. My guilt is just a waste of time because I'm teaching them so much by pursuing my own dreams. Yeah. So see, you can have it all.
She's saying to let it go. She's saying, let that go. Let that guilt go. You don't need that. She said, you're a perfect mother just as you are. She said, you're raising your kids by doing
Thanks.
That. Yeah. And then she started singing. And now she was an opera singer. She could do the high opera singing stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, So now she's doing that. Anyway, so go on.
So she can do math calculations and sing opera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, God, that was bad.
What'd she do?
I just said in my head when you said that she can sing opera and all that, and I was just like, a woman of many talents, and she went, yeah, like that, like, you know, like giving head or whatever. You're bad.
Are you sure you're not? The next question is, the next question out of my mouth is, have you and Hermina had any carnations together or been rivals before? And I'm thinking, she does belong to us. That's so funny. Okay, any other lives together, either as friends or rivals?
And she says, no, not yet. She said, I think it'd be fun to have a brotherly rivalry. Blah, blah, blah. You know, be rivals, be brothers. She's like, and it'll lead to a murder. And she's all scheming in her head already. She's like, and who's going to kill who? Who's going to kill who? And she's so excited planning this already. I'll kill you. How about that? I'll kill you.
Yes. all that pent-up rage you've had this past
Yeah,
couple years.
this one, and it'll just go to that lifetime, and it'll be fine. And then she's still plotting it. She's like, oh my God, and we'll be gay, but we'll be gay for the same lover. Like, she's just so going off on this idea. And what's funny is seeing this is how spirits actually plan their lifetimes. It's just one giant game to them, and they think it's so fun. And
yeah!
But we don't remember
Fuck
it.
you for that, you guys.
We don't remember it, so we get pissed off at them, but we're getting pissed off at ourselves, so it makes it more funny, you know?
Yeah! You guys, I'd wring some necks if you had them. So I'm gonna go off a little bit because you're just being so funny right now. What were you thinking when we were all making fun of you earlier in the thread? Just about how
she's
whatever,
laughing.
You know, the jealousy stuff.
She has a big boisterous laugh when she gets like, you know, really into it. She said she has a good sense of humor. She said she was called a lot of names. She was called a witch at some point by a couple of men. She said, oh yes, because a woman who knows physics is a witch. She said, how dare she be intelligent?
Right.
And
we can't be brains, it's sorcery.
Yeah, she said when a man is smart and knows science, it's called, well, she said it's called science. When a woman is smart and knows science, it's called witchcraft. So she's like, yep, I'm a witch.
Nonsense.
And anyway, but she's laughing. She said the whole thing made her laugh. Because she's learned to laugh at herself.
Good.
Yeah.
I kind of, didn't you feel like that's how it was going? Because we would never be hurtful on purpose. That's funny.
No, sometimes I would stop and apologize to her. I'll be like, I'm sorry, am I hurting your feelings? Because like I feel this jealousy, but it's really, really small. The bigger part of me knows, and I'm just like, I'm sorry for this tiny little portion of my ego. And she's like, it's fine.
We're just going to hit you just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for a minute.
And she's all clapping her hands. Yay. She's so happy about it.
That's so funny. Oh, she has been so fun. I got a couple more questions, though. Don't leave yet. Do you have a special connection to Einstein?
No. She said no, but I was there to help guide him. I was one of his guides. To help him with kinetic...
That's a special connection.
She said kinetic energy. She said that helped generate. I don't like that word, though. She helped him form the that theory. What the fuck's his theory? The theory of relativity. She helped him.
There's one of relativity.
Yeah, she said that, but that's wrong, though. The Sarsar said the theory of relativity isn't right. And she's saying, you're right, it's not completely.
Well, it might be in Earth math.
Yeah, it is. She's like, in Earth math, she said it's a perfect example of how Earth math doesn't make sense and how it's not universal. She said that when you think about it, scientists, they'll come up with their theories and it'll be accepted as fact, pretty much, even though it's still a theory, but it'll be commonly accepted. She said, just because majority of people believe in the same opinion doesn't make it a fact. She said to remember that. And she says that some scientists are meant to be wrong in some way. She said they're not really wrong. It's just helping push humanity a little bit further into the right direction. So the theory of relativity isn't necessarily the right answer, but it's the right answer for right now. And it's going to help push humanity into the right direction until someone else is going to come along and say, hey, it's really this way, and then they're going to go that other way, and it'll just continue to push them a bit further. So she said
is that new theory going to come up in our lifetime, or is that like
she
way
said
in the
it already
future?
Slowly is. Like, scientists are beginning to think a little bit, not a lot of them, but very few of them are starting to think, hey, that doesn't really sound right. It doesn't feel right, is what she's saying. Intuitively, she said scientists have to be highly intuitive to even come up with the hypothesis in the first place. She said they'll just get this feeling like, something's off, and then it's going to be a while. She said it's going to be several decades because everyone's still stuck on Einstein being a complete genius, which he was. It still is, but it's going to take a while for people to get off.
That's 50 years ago or 100, whatever it was.
To push him off that pedestal. Right, to push him off that pedestal and be able to say it's okay that he wasn't 100% right. You know, it's okay to focus on another theory now.
His feelings won't be hurt. It's okay.
Right. Yeah.
Did you like that life in the 18th century compared to other periods in our timeline? Why or why not?
She said she would have enjoyed being alive during the suffragist movement, to have been a woman who fought for the women's right to vote. She said she would have loved that, but she decided not to. She said her life in the 18th century, she both enjoyed and didn't at the same time. She enjoyed it because she liked that she was breaking the rules, but she said that she didn't like it because of how hard it was and the fact that it was called rule breaking. So it was like kind of a love-hate. She said she loves the outfits, loved the dresses, hated the social rules.
So she liked that she was a rule breaker. She just didn't like the kind of rules that she had to break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, we've gone through all of our questions. Do you have any, Heather?
Nope. Voltaire was very quiet. I thought he would say more, but he hasn't.
Voltaire, how are you feeling? Are you feeling uncomfortable?
He says, no. I know we did, didn't we? So, okay, I'm having a side conversation. Voltaire and I, did some stuff today, and Emily,
right?
She's like teasing me about it. She's like, you too, today. Yeah.
Gosh. Sexy time.
With the dead guy. My God.
Right.
I know.
Gotta work on that. God, that's so trippy. Okay, well, Emily, I appreciated this talk so much. This was so fun. This just had to happen. So thank you. Do you have any parting messages?
She says, no, I love you all. And to remember, I was tapping into my ego as Emily. That doesn't mean this is how I believe as a spirit. She said, I assumed you wanted Emily's personality. So I came through as that.
Yes.
So imagine me not as a spirit, but as Emily. And I came through and did an interview. And I'm not dead. So, yeah.
All right, girlfriend.
Okay.
All right, I'll catch you in the bathtub later.
She's giggling. And she said, be prepared or be careful or something like that. Something, she's being flirty.
Uh-oh. Maybe she'll give me a heart chakra squeeze or drown me, one or the other. Okay. All right, Heather, I'm going to sign off, but quick reminders since I have the opportunity that in next April 2018, Heather and I are having an event out in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to the aliens.
I almost forgot about that.
I don't know. Heather will put a link somewhere. I'm putting that on you. And we have our channel Stardust. Keep checking those videos out. They're going to keep coming. And I guess that's it for business. If you need an energy healing, come find me, silverlininghealings.com. Heather has blogs. You got to find her stuff.
Yeah.
What's your blog, Heather?
HeatherQuinto.com.
Quinto?
I just said my real name. Like everyone already knows.
Heather Hermina.
Whatever.
I don't know what's going to happen with that. You just gotta own this shit, girl. You're awesome. All right. I love you, Heather, and I'm going to talk to you in 1 minute.
Okay.
Bye.